My name is Holohan. I'm the CTO of Wella Group, and AVAST is our product. This machine is just designed to combat the coronavirus, both on surfaces and in air. We've got a three-pronged approach to this. We're using an active silver filtration system, which basically cleans the air that's going into the system. We have ozone generation, which produces 10,000 milligrams of ozone per hour, and we have a vaporization system which produces a hydrogen peroxide mist. Both the hydrogen peroxide mist and the ozone are sent out in the same stream. Ozone stays in air. It is a gas and stays active for about 20 minutes. The hydrogen peroxide, although it's very, very fine mist, it will float and find its way behind curtains and under tables and anywhere people can't move or clean, and it will clean those surfaces. So there's nowhere for a virus to hide in this case. It produces a very high rate of kill on the virus itself, and it's a three-pronged approach. We've taken three separate avenues, and these were actually suggested. Our CEO, Barbara Dutton, actually, when we'd done the original research, she decided the best way to do is don't confine yourself to a single method. So we designed an entire system around the best possible way of handling the virus both in air and on surfaces.
And how does AVAST compare to handheld units that currently people are using out there?
Handheld units generally use toxic materials like quaternary ammonium solutions. Quaternary ammonium solutions, if you look on the MSDS sheet, for instance, it will say causes irreversible eye damage and blindness. So we don't want to be using anything like that. And also, if you see anybody who's using one of these handheld units, they're wearing a hazmat suit. They're not wearing a hazmat suit because they like wearing a hazmat suit. They're wearing it
because the thing is dangerous. What they're working with is
absolutely
dangerous.
Also, the materials out of those type of units stay on the surfaces. So over time, multiple treatments, it will actually build up to the stage where you've got something that will get on your skin.
What about the AVAST system? Does
AVAST uses hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2. The H2O2, when it's reacted, goes back to H2O, water, and oxygen itself. So we end up with two materials that are here right now anyway. Also, ozone is O3. O3 is simply an unstable molecule of oxygen, and when it reacts, it either reacts back into O2, which is what we're breathing, or oxygen, a single oxygen molecule, which is what basically attacks the coronavirus.
So the coronavirus could be in a given moment in the air, or it could be on surfaces.
Absolutely.
And when the machine starts running, the mist comes out, and what happens?
The mist comes out. It is a combined mist of both hydrogen peroxide as droplets and ozone as a gas. The gas will not settle. It will constantly stay in the air while it's working. The hydrogen peroxide will find its way everywhere and eventually attach to a surface. The hydrogen peroxide will sanitize the surface, and the ozone will sanitize the air.
So perfect combination.
Perfect combination.
Okay. What about labor? How labor intensive is it to use the AVAST system?
Very straightforward, and labor saving is a big deal with this. The cost of deep cleaning is very heavy these days. The way this works is we put the hydrogen peroxide into this section here. A litre costs about $1 at the moment, so it's a very cheap material. 3 litres lasts an hour. We get a lot of volume, treatment volume for that 3 litres. You set the timer for the volume of the space that you're going to treat, and you leave the area. So for a restaurant, for instance, you would bring the unit in, set the volume for the set the timer for the volume that you're going to work with, switch out the lights as you're going home, switch on the timer, leave. The next morning you come in, everything is done. It's all finished.
No residues?
No residues, nothing needs to be wiped down. It's totally food safe. You go back to absolutely clean water and oxygen. That's it. There is nothing that can be toxic. No part of this is toxic, and you know, it's the ideal solution.
And the person who, the operator, the person who's going to set it up, what kind of training do they need?
They need to read the manual.
That's it.
That's it.
And it's very simple.
The watch outs are make sure it's plugged in, and simply do the math to come up with the volume of the space you're working in. There's a little grid, a little table in the user's manual. If you know the area of the room and the ceiling height is a standard, you just read it off. It's 450 square feet. It's 22 minutes. It's as simple as that.
So pretty much anybody can operate the machine.
Absolutely, as long as you're capable of opening the latch, pouring the material in, and close it up again. Plug it in and switch it on.
All right, so we're gonna run this as the machine, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's see how much mist we can generate.
We got the material in here, and we're just gonna switch it on, and there you go.
Just look at the amount of... Perfect. Thank you, sir.
And as you can feel, it is dry. It feels dry. So there you go. That's what it is.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.